All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show today. As you can tell from the visuals in the background, I am not at home. I am currently in Toronto for AWS Transformation Day down at the Westin Harbour Castle, broadcasting between the buildings actually over the road right now. Just stepped out of the keynote because I've actually heard that keynote before, but that doesn't diminish how fantastic it is. What I wanted to talk to you about was actually the message behind the keynote. So AWS Transformation Day is focused on business, not on technology. It's focused on the business leaders within technology, so the CEO, the CIO, directors, more people who don't have their hands on the keyboard necessarily. And I think that's really interesting because AWS has created all of these building blocks. That's basically what AWS services are. It's a big giant pile of Lego. And what they've done is created all these services. So there we go, the gimbal's getting a little gimpy. They've created all these services, and this day, Transformation Day, takes their core messaging and it puts it in a way that lets people understand how to use those services. And I don't mean use those services like literally click here to create a SageMaker process, or click here to open an S3 bucket, anything like that. What I mean is they're talking purely about digital transformation. They're talking about how a business can adjust to take advantage of this. And I think that's really, really interesting because that's where a lot of folks, yikes, sorry about the camera work today. That's where a lot of folks in security fall down. They completely and utterly fall down in adapting their message to the audience at hand. So if we look at something along the lines of, when you're talking to application developers, this should be a different message than when you're talking to the CIO or to the CEO or to the CISO, or even if you're reporting up your own chain into that CISO. So this is really why I found today's agenda interesting here at the Transformation Day, because it takes a technology that I know really, really well, and it's going to talk about how AWS sees best to adapt that into a business context. Obviously, that's a topic I'm well familiar with as I've been doing this for a really long time now. But I think it's really important to understand that you have a core set of messaging, and then you have an additional set of messaging or like core principles that you need to adjust for the audience at hand. And that's why the topic today is know your audience. So you as a security person might know, okay, I need to encrypt this in the following manner. Here's how I want to run encryption. We want AES-256, we want to manage the keys, here's the policies. But if you're talking to the CIO, they probably don't want to go that deep. If you're talking to the CEO or another business leader, they don't even care about the details. What they want is the principles here. Same thing, different adjustment. They want to talk about core principles. They want to talk about things like how it's going to impact the business, how it's going to deliver better business results, how it's going to meet more into our business goals. And this is why it's really fascinating to see Transformation Day, because it's AWS taking their core messaging and putting the business face on it, putting the business understanding. And I think that's absolutely critical. Yikes, I really got to work better with this gimbal. I think that's absolutely critical, and I think that's absolutely an area where a lot of folks fall down, is that we don't do as nearly well as we can adjusting messaging for the areas or the audience that we're talking to. So taking that core message of going like, hey, I really need all this data encrypted in transit and at rest, and then taking that message, that core message, aligning with that goal and adjusting it to the audience who you're talking to. So if you're talking to the application developers, absolutely get into the nuts and bolts. If you're talking to the security people, for sure, get into the nuts and bolts. You're talking to the business people, no, you're talking to them about how encryption reduces your risk without impacting your performance if you roll it out right. And here's how we want to ensure that we can continue to take larger business risks by protecting the back-end data and reducing that risk. Those are the kinds of things. Same message, same principle, but same principle, that message, but delivered in a far more effective way for that audience. You absolutely have to know your audience. Again, apologies for the camera work. I'm still working on this tool, learning it ahead of AWS re:Invent so that I can help get my message out to the right audiences. Hit me up online at marknca for those of you on the vlogs in the comments down below, and as always by email, me at markn.ca. I'm going to be typing up some thoughts and experiences I think from today. Put that out on the blog markn.ca later this week. So have a great day. I hope to talk to you online throughout the day, and I will see you on the show tomorrow.